Hello. Today we are going to talk about wrongful termination. If you are an employee in absolutely any part of India, you have certain rights and you cannot be fired without a legitimate reason. In this video, I will tell you when you are wrongfully terminated, the laws that protect you, and what can you do if this happens. Let us begin. So when are you wrongfully terminated? First, if you have been fired based on your race, orientation, ethnic foundation or religion. Second, if you have held up a lawful complaint against the business. Third, if you have uncovered the business's unethical, illegal behavior as an informant. The fourth, if you've been terminated for a work dispute, individual enmity or a refusal to follow up on unlawful orders of your superiors. The fifth, a breach of contract in which you have consented to a work arrangement. You and your manager need to keep the details of that understanding. But if the manager breaks any of these terms and if anything done by the company leads to you or your worker himself, herself leaving the job, it is a kind of a wrongful termination of business. Now let us learn what are the laws against wrongful termination. If you are wrongfully terminated based on a prejudice or bias, say your race, age, sex and so on, it is an infringement of your fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution. In the event that the wrongful termination of business is done disregarding any arrangements of work laws, the Industrial Disputes Act 1947, the Workmen's Compensation Act 1923 and the State Shops and Establishments Act, these three acts become possibly the most important factor. Do I need a lawyer for being wrongfully terminated? So in this event that you accept you have lost your employment for an unlawful explanation, you might have a case for wrongful termination against your previous employer, regardless of whether you were terminated for cause. Wrongful termination include complicated judicial procedures and can be testing. So it could be to your greatest advantage to talk to a lawyer. Most representatives don't have a business contract in writing. However, assuming you in all actuality do have an agreement that restricts the purposes behind the termination, some other justification for it is a break of the business contract. A lawyer can work with you to audit your agreement and decide whether an express justification behind this wrongful termination is considered by the agreement. Let us look at the damages available for wrongful termination. So the Indian courts have applied the standard of relief of harm set out in section 73 of the Indian Contract Act 1872 regarding cases of harms for wrongful termination by workers. In a wrongful termination case, damages that you might recover comprise of four things. The first, loss compensation. Second, loss advantages. Third, possible emotional distress damages. And the last one, possible corrective damages. Check out a couple of landmark Supreme Court judgments in the description and leave a comment below if you feel that you've ever been wrongfully terminated in your contract of business or you've been wrongfully terminated on the basis of your race, sex, orientation or color.